Belal Muhammad getting ready to fight UFC 205 coming up here November 12th. This one is in New York, New York. It's the big one, the big show. Honestly, the biggest show UFC's ever put on because of the battles and everything they had to put just to get MMA legalized in New York. You're on that first card. It's a huge deal. You're from Chicago. You're battling Lyman Good, who's from right down the street. He doesn't have to travel as far. It's still in the States. It's not that big of a deal. He's obviously going to have more fans in the arena. But I know so many people coming in from all over just because it's in New York for the first time at Madison Square Garden. Do you have a lot of people coming in from Chicago just for you to come in and watch this fight from Chicago?
Yeah, I actually have a lot, man. I usually have a big crowd with me wherever I go, but the fact that it's in New York and it's the first show there, I have a bunch of people coming down. So I think we're gonna be even with how many people are there for each other.
Some have to get on a plane, and some just have to get on the subway. For them, it's going to be huge. It's actually going to be a really good fight, a really good card. I got to ask, because you are a fight fan, have you looked at the rest of the card, and is there a fight that you're excited to watch even after your fight's done?
Yeah, actually, that's why I'm excited that I'm like number 2 on the card, just so I can get it over with and start watching the fights. I want to see Donald Cerrone, man. Him against Kevin Gastelum is going to be a really good fight. And then, honestly, the main event, that's going to be another good one. I just want to see what McGregor does. I think he's going to win, but I just want to see how.
You think McGregor's going to win? So that's your prediction, is McGregor beats Alvarez?
Yeah, I think he's going to win. I think he's too big, man. I honestly seen Alvarez like in person and McGregor in person. And McGregor's huge, man. He's like my size. And I was like, wow, this guy's, how did he cut down to 45? But I think he's going to be too fast, too skillful for Alvarez. Alvarez runs in too much. I think McGregor's going to end up countering him.
And backstepping and pick him apart as he walks in, catch him with a couple of leg kicks and slowing him down. And once a counter has you slowed down, that's when his speed is really apparent because you can't maneuver as much because he's kicked your legs out from underneath you. Now all of a sudden he's able to pinpoint, pick you apart as much as he wants. And I've been picking against Conor every single fight he's fought in the UFC. At first because I legitimately thought he was going to lose. And now I like him so much, I don't want to pick for him. Because I feel like I'm going to break that record, I'm going to screw him up. So I still won't pick for him. I'm still going to pick against him. That's just what I do. It's like now I'm superstitious. I don't want to ruin it. So it's kind of fun to be. You've got to look at the numbers that Conor's getting. I mean, you've seen it when he fought Diaz. He got 3 million reported from the commission, but then another 10 million or so from his back end deal with pay-per-view and everything else. This is a guy that's getting over $10 million a fight. You're not anywhere near that neighborhood. But I believe, I've always said this in the past, you can look back, that every one of us that steps inside that cage or ring, anybody at any level, once you're in the big leagues, once you're in the UFC, you're worth $1 million. You should be getting paid $1 million to step in there and fight. Total package. I'm not saying commission numbers, but your total package should be $1 million because it's a tough life. Arms break, elbows break, knees break, ankles get broken if you get caught in a submission. You can get throat damage if you get caught in a choke. Not to mention orbital bones. Nose is getting rearranged, jaws get rearranged, and getting brain damage from getting knocked out. We're worth $1 million. You're not in that neighborhood, though, but how long? You're at 10-1 now. You lost to Alan Jobain the first time you came in to UFC, and then you beat Montano your next time back in September. How long do you think before you start seeing some real money in the UFC? Like wow, I really made it. Like the American dream type of money.
Honestly, if I keep staying at this pace, man, I just want to keep winning. Like I tell people, it's McGregor. He sells himself, and then people want to watch him. So, like, if you go in there and you're putting on boring fights, nobody wants to watch you, then don't complain about not getting paid because you're an entertainer, too. So you want to go in there, you want to entertain the fans, you want to put on a show for them, too. So, but if you're the type of guy that wants to just lay and pray and then cry after the fight that you're getting booed and cry that you're not getting paid enough, I mean, you got to put on a show for the fans, too. I mean, and then, so that's the thing with me. I want to sit down there, put on exciting fights, keep winning them. And I see me by the end of next year, getting in that upper echelon of paychecks because I'm a type of guy that wants to fight the best guys and stay fighting and stay active and be exciting. I'm not the guy that wants to just sit there and hold you against the cage. I want to be exciting and I want people to watch me.
Well, there's a lot of guys that have the same mentality. Like, hey, I want to fight the best guys. I want to keep busy. I always want to stay in there. But it's really the trash talking that really sells the fans on, and that's why Chael Sonnen did it, and that's why it's a big deal now that Chael's coming back to fight again, obviously in a different league. But also then Conor McGregor took what Chael did and made it better. He reinvented it again, even more so. And he's really good at it. Comes off really natural, and his antics don't seem rehearsed and don't seem premeditated. He goes up and they come off like a real like a real live action event. It's obviously he's the most extreme, far corner of it. It's someplace in there though. You have to be towards that end to try to really get the fans to come after you. And you're not that guy. You're humble. You're respectful. You're a martial artist. Like you really believe in the code of ethics and code of morality. When it comes to fighting, where kind of crosses that line. Like he'll talk red penny night and I'm, your wife should be happy that I got you this payday, and he brings the family involved. And you're not that kind of guy. So how are you going to convince the fans in a different way that you are that entertaining? Like how are you going to talk your way into it? Because that's really what the fans are looking at.
Like I said, like I had my brother and everybody like, yeah, start talking trash now, so you start getting that Conor McGregor money. I'm like, I'm not gonna sit there and fake it. Like you said, I don't fake it. I don't want it to come off like that. I want to do natural stuff. But like, it was like the guy that because he had his. And I think me, since I'm Palestinian, I'm gonna bring that new fan base in, and it's gonna bring that type of people in there. So I'm gonna get that bigger crowd in.
And you're in a tough situation because I see a lot of the guys, their managers are telling them, you got to start acting like Conor to get Conor money. And you're like, look, I'm just not that guy. Like I'm not that animated. I'm not that witty. I'm not that quick. With my comebacks, I'm really trying to be a real human being, and I can't do that being that kind of guy. Now I'm not saying that Conor's wrong in doing it. That's him.
Yeah.
That works for him, and that's why it's so good. But you've got to kind of be a different kind of way, and it's tough. A lot of you guys are in a weird spot where you're trying to get that way, but you're having to just win 10 fights, 12 fights in a row to make anybody kind of pay attention to you. And it's tough. It's super hard because you want to be that normal cat. Like even people like you talked about him earlier, Donald Cerrone, Cowboy. He has found a way, while still being humble, while still having a high moral code. But he's found like his shtick of that Cowboy way of kind of like just saying it like it is. He told Conor, because we're talking about him as well, that hey, Conor, you want to come up to 170? I'll bring you in. I'll send you right back down again. Like, I will put an ass whooping on you. And that's kind of the Cowboy way, but that's that from the hat and the way he dresses and the way he rides bulls. You expect that from a guy like him. So it makes sense. It works. It's like it's still trying to, for you though, you're still trying to find that way where the fans want to watch your entertaining fights because you are entertaining as a fighter. You are exciting as a fighter. But again, the fans want to watch you is the next stage, is the next step.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, like you said, like Donald Cerrone, he's that exciting guy that everybody, no matter what card he's on, people want to watch it, just tune in. But he's still not getting that kind of McGregor money. And like, he has to fight 5 or 6 times a year to get it. He's still not getting a fraction of what Conor gets.
Yeah.
I'm not that. I don't need like I would want the $10 million fight, but I'll be happy with 6 figures, 7 figures just to get up there. I mean, I'm not the Conor McGregor where I'm gonna go shopping on freaking Rodeo Drive or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, I live a simple life, so I'll be good with 6 figures.
That's actually the next thing I wanted to ask you. That you seem like to me, and we've never hung out, we've never gone out and ate together, we haven't run around the streets together. But you seem like a guy that even if you had a bunch of money, you're not really going to buy fancy cars. You're not really going to buy a bunch of like a humongous, extravagant house. Is my impression of you correct? Are you a kind of guy that's like, I'm okay with a mid-level car, I'm okay with a mid-level house as long as my family's taken care of? Is that your kind of attitude?
Yeah, that's the thing I am. I got my bonus and I sat there and I bought like a Toyota Camry. I'm not gonna sit there like my brother. I'll get a Range Rover or something like that. I'm the type of guy I'd rather save my money and spend it on like family and stuff like that. Stuff that I'll enjoy. Go on like a vacation, like have fun, not to go spend on some like high-end watch or high-end clothes or anything like that.
I got to be honest. In my career, I've gone up and down. Where I wanted all the big needy stuff. I wanted all the big cars. I wanted the big house. And then as I got older and kind of maneuvered into different things, I was like, yeah, I really don't like that stuff. Like I got it because I wanted it because everybody else had it. There was my peer group, and I was like, I don't really want that. Like I really don't want the big car, the big house. I'd rather, like you, I'd rather go spend it with my family and go on vacation. I'd rather go someplace for Thanksgiving and someplace for Christmas and go someplace for spring break and have that than have all the other extravagant stuff. So that's just it's a good insight into you, and I hope for the fans you'll get more fans because now they know like how you are as a man.
Yeah.
Just like you're a little bit different, at least to me. You're a little bit different than all the other fighters I interview because you have a different background, a different mindset of how you approach stuff. So I like it. So what does Rufus say? 'Cause I know you go to Wisconsin a lot and train at Rufus Gym. Even though you are in Chicago, you make that 2-hour drive over. What are those guys over there saying about Lyman Good? Like, how are they helping you approach this fight to get ready for Lyman?
It's going good over there because Tyron Woodley's there training for his camp too. And then we got like 2 other guys fighting for titles for the RFA title, like Gerald Mershard and Mike Biggie Rhodes.
That's right.
So it's a motivated room right now, and everybody's fighting around the same time. So everybody's in camp, and they're all like pushing hard. And Duke just wants me to keep my mentality going. Wants me to just like stay confident. I got my last finish in the UFC against a guy who never got finished before. So that was a big thing on me before, where I couldn't finish fights. But I finished like him, and then I finished Steve Carl, the one before Joe Ban. So I feel like the momentum's going up with the way I'm fighting now. And the fact that I've been fighting back to back to back, I haven't had to like spar as much or anything like that. It's more just technique and sharpening my tools. So I've been feeling like everything's coming together right.
You know, I actually want to talk about that because Robbie Lawler, who's been fighting longer than I have. He started when I started and still has continued to fight. He said, his last couple of training camps, he didn't spar at all. He did mitt work, he did timing drills. He rolled, he grappled, but he didn't do any sparring at all because he didn't want to take the brain damage. I knew early in your career you used to spar a lot, but because now you're so close to your fights being back to back to back that you really can't spar that much. Do you feel like you're better now? Because I kind of feel like you looked better in your last fight, and you couldn't really spar between Joe Bain and Montego. You kind of had to take some time off from that. I think you look better when you came out because you didn't spar, even though it was a shorter training camp.
Yeah, I actually feel a lot better just doing drills and working that type of movement because it makes you want to, when you're working drills and you're going lighter, it makes you try new things out, and then it lets you see a lot of things more. Other than like when you're going hard sparring, you're just putting your head down, biting on a mouthpiece. You get rocked. You want to rock your partner, your training partner.
Yeah.
So now it just feels a lot better. It feels a lot, you're seeing a lot more. You're trying a lot more, working a lot. Defenses. So you're slowing the game down when you're not sparring and you're just doing drills. You're learning a lot more. So I like it a lot better that way. And I'm not having to take any hits during training camp, and I'm not getting hurt during training camp because I'm not doing hard sparring sessions.
I believe in it. I just don't think it's the best style of offensive striking, the Rufus style, like their offensive striking. I don't think is like the best way for MMA. Obviously, for kickboxing is by far and away the best because they were crushing everybody in their heyday. I don't think it's the best for MMA, but their defensive skill is incredible. That the way they maneuver so you don't get hit is really what what the Rufus camp is really the best at. It's not the fact they know how to turn a corner and crack you; it's they're making you miss. And when you are hitting them, and if you do get hit, it's a glancing blow. Their defense over there is incredible when it comes to the striking game.
Yeah, that's a big thing that Duke pushes, like because we'll sit there spar or do drills with the big gloves, and then it'll be like, don't sit there and get hit with the big gloves. Even when you're drilling, you always have to be on the defense no matter what. Like, even when we're doing drills and you're like pity-patting each other, still, he'll yell at you if you're taking a jab or like getting touched. He's like, why are you going to get hit for it? That's a 4-ounce glove. You're getting knocked out. So you still got to think of everything like you're in the cage at all times. So it's just a big mentality thing with him over there too, where he always wants you to mentally be prepared like you're in a fight. Like if you're smiling at practice, he doesn't want that. Once he says go, you have to be in the whole zone, ready to go.
Yep. Turn the switch on, get ready to rock, and that makes sense. I mean, it completely makes sense, and I agree with it. It's awesome. So, how excited are you? How excited are you for Lyman Good? Let's say this fight was in San Antonio, Texas, and not the first fight in New York. Would you still be hyped up and excited about fighting a guy like Lyman Good?
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually really excited for this fight because I've seen him before. I've seen him when he was in Bellator. So he's one of them guys that when I was amateur fighter coming up, like I was watching his fights just because I knew that he was good, he was an exciting fighter. And now that I'm fighting him, I think it's gonna be a good fight for the fans. I'm one of them guys where I like the matchup. I don't want to sit there and fight a wrestler or somebody that's gonna try to hold you down or stall it out. I know he wants to come to the fight, so I think it's a perfect style matchup for me. And then for it being the first male fight that's gonna be in New York, I think it's gonna make some history and get some eyes open.
For sure. I do believe just because New York, the pay-per-view numbers on this are going to be astronomical. Then add in Conor McGregor, Eddie Alvarez, the title fight, even more so. Add in it's Madison Square Garden. It's going to be completely full. Like it's just a firecracker of a night, man. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And I'm kind of jealous that all you guys are going to be on this card at one time. And unfortunately, in my career, it wasn't possible. It wasn't legal and just couldn't do it. But so great to see the sport come this far and guys like you get to actually be on the card. Guys I actually enjoy. Lyman's another good guy. He's actually a gentleman. He's a nice guy. He's a nice kid. So it's nice to see you guys actually get the opportunity to have all these extra eyeballs on you at one time. Unfortunately, one of you's got to lose and one of you's got to win, and that's just how it's going to have to pan out. So, Lyman's been around for a long time. He's been a really, really good fighter on the East Coast. He's got 9 KOs, 3 submissions, and 7 decisions. You, of course, have 4 KOs and 6 decisions. You have come along though, like you said, you've been getting more knockouts as of late. Of all your KOs, most of them happen in your last 3 fights. Like that's how you're starting to finish now more and more. Do you see yourself finishing Lyman? Do you see yourself putting him to sleep?
Yeah, I see myself actually finishing this fight. Ever since we've been working with Duke, I've been learning a lot more and picking my shots a lot better than I was earlier in my career. So I see myself finishing this fight either by submission or by knockout. A lot of people still haven't been able to see my ground game yet, but I've been working it really hard, and I think that a lot of people are underestimating what I can do on the ground.
I like it. Thanks so much for taking some time with us. Have fun the rest of your training camp. Enjoy the trip. Enjoy the whole process of being down there in Madison Square. And, of course, enjoy the fights right after you're done.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Talk to you soon.